Welcome back, folks, to the WP-Tonic show. It's episode 605. We've got a great guest. We're going to be talking about how you can use referral to increase your sales, basically. We've got Raúl Galera. I'm sure I butchered his surname, but I did warn him, and he seems reasonably okay with it. I've got my co-host Stephen with me as well. And Raúl, would you like to do your elevation pitch, your 20-second, just to quickly introduce yourself to the listeners and viewers?
Absolutely. So yeah, my name is Raúl. I am the chief advocate here at ReferralCandy. And ReferralCandy, what we've been doing for the past 10 years is that we are helping e-commerce brands to, in short, turn their customer base into their sales team or their marketing team by allowing them to set up and run customer referral programs. So yeah, that's what we do. That's what we've been doing for 10 years, and it's been quite a ride.
Sounds great. We're really looking forward to the conversation because it's not an area that we've covered at all, almost in the 600 episodes of the show. So, Stephen, would you like to quickly introduce yourself to the new listeners and viewers?
Yeah, my name's Stephen Souter. I'm from zipfish.io. We make WordPress fast by optimizing the code on the site and also on the servers.
And before we go into the main part of the interview, I just want to mention one of our great sponsors that help keep the show going, and that's Costas. Costas, if you're into podcasting, and I would highly recommend that you should look at podcasting if you've got the time. It's a great way of promoting yourself and your business. If you're looking to get into podcasting yourself, or you've had clients ask, Costas gives you the platform. It's where you upload your audio files to. It provides the RSS feed that enables you to share it with iTunes, Spotify, and all the leading podcasting platforms. And it gives you analytical data and technical support, plus much, much more than that. I was with a more established provider, and then I heard that Matt Medeiros of the Matt Report was becoming their director of sales and marketing. And I thought, if it's good enough for Matt, I should look at it. And I decided to jump ship. It's about half the price of my previous provider. And they were really helpful. Had over 600 shows to move over. They went flawlessly. It's a fantastic interface. They're great to work with. As we were talking, they found out I was looking for a long-term major sponsor. My previous one, after 3 years, had decided to go elsewhere, which is fine. And they came on board, and it's just been great. So I suggest that you should look at them. And the other thing is, do remember to join the WP-Tonic group, Facebook group. You'll find the links all in the show notes. It really does help, and we're trying to build a real WordPress community there. So, Raúl, give us a history about the company. Now, you said it started about 10 years ago. Why did it start? And, what are some of its main offerings, Raúl?
Yeah. So the company started kind of based on a conversation over lunch. So actually, our two co-founders were talking to a friend that had just created an online store a few months before. And this was an online store in 2009, 2010. So, totally different from what we understand now as an online store. And just to put it into context, back then, social media, or I guess Facebook in particular, was kind of starting to take shape and become international and starting to work in a lot of countries besides the US. And so this was kind of like a new channel for this entrepreneur. That he knew that his customers were happy with the products they were buying. And he knew that he could leverage the network of their customers to acquire referrals, basically. And so that's kind of how it started. They figured out there must be a way that we can leverage this, that we can incentivize customers to refer their friends, and that's how ReferralCandy got started. Pretty much from day one, we kind of partner with some of the major e-commerce platforms, and so that has been a partnership that has allowed us to grow over the past decade. And so obviously right now we're in a very different position. The e-commerce world is in a different position than what it was 10 years ago. But the main offering, it's still there. The kind of like our mission is to allow brands to turn their customer base into their sales team. And just by allowing them to set up and run referral programs very quickly and just have them running on autopilot, so they don't have to worry about that. They can just focus on running their stores.
Right, great. Over to you, Stephen.
Yeah, so like to dive into a little bit, just like how it works, right? Because like the referral systems like feel very like complex to me, and I'm sure like you guys like make that far simpler and like how that runs and stuff. So I have an online store. There has to be some way of hooking that into the checkout, right? Or some way of tracking links. So let's say I have a customer base, right? And I want to implement a referral system. Do I like send them a link to go sign up for ReferralCandy and then they get a link from you guys? Or how does that like handoff work? How do I get people, sharing links to their referral and giving people whatever the reward is? I guess it's generally some sort of cash value or store credits or something like that.
Yeah. So for the rewards, so yeah, it's all pretty much automated on our end. So for the rewards, we typically recommend to go with either coupons or a cash reward. If you're selling a product that can be easily resold and to the same customer, we typically recommend to go with a coupon, because you're also incentivizing them to come back and buy from you again after they have referred a friend. But kind of like going into the specifics on how it works. So yeah, we integrate with the checkout. And that's how we are able to identify who was the customer, and also like other information about the purchase that might be interesting for us to kind of like qualify the referral. So the way it works from the consumer perspective is that we give every single customer a unique referral link that they can share with their friends. So I can share that referral link on a group chat or on Facebook or whatever it is. When a friend clicks on the referral link, they're taken to a landing page with the offer. So say, here's the 20% off that your friend gave you and the coupon code. And then the friend, it's being redirected to the store so they can complete the purchase, apply the coupon code, and we're able to track the whole referral process from the moment that they clicked on the referral link until the moment that they went through the checkout. And verify that the person that clicked on the link is also the person that went through checkout. So that's kind of how we track it. And then that new customer, that friend, also gets automatically invited to join the referral program. So
Nice.
There's a few ways that we can do this, either with a pop-up or with an automated email. It all runs through ReferralCandy, but they never see ReferralCandy. It's called kind of like white label in a way. Everything seems as part of the branding from the company. They never see any sort of ReferralCandy branding anywhere.
Cool. When somebody is implementing this, like how long does it take to set up? Is this something that you have to dedicate 10 hours to, 100 hours to? Like if I have a WooCommerce store and I want to like create this referral program and launch it?
No time at all. I mean, we have a plugin for WooCommerce, and so just the integration, it's pretty much happens automatically, really.
Cool. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Then after that, you have to obviously set up your rewards, and you have to add some marketing assets for us to be able to apply them to the emails and the pages that are related to the referral program. But typically, we just need a logo and a banner, and we literally do the rest. So the setup time, especially in WooCommerce, in less than 30 minutes, you can get it up and running.
So then as far as like accounts go, if I am a user and I've referred my friend has made a purchase, therefore I have a reward. I know like a lot of e-commerce stores have like login sort of things, right? Like WooCommerce, right? I have a customer portal that I can go and look at my order history and stuff like that. Is there a separate login then for me to go look at my rewards that I need to bounce over to? So I kind of have like these two different login systems, one's for the referral and one's for my online store.
Yep, that's exactly how it works. So we, so if you click on your, let's put it this way. So when you get the email that invites you to join the referral program, you also have access to your not only your referral link, so you can have it available anytime in case that you forget and you want to grab it to send it to a friend. There's also a section there that's called your rewards, and if you click there, it asks you to create an account, basically to just create a password so we can create an account for you. And then there you're able to see how many times people have clicked on your referral link, how many of those have turned into purchases, and also how many of those purchases have qualified as a referral. Because that's another thing that we do. So we allow merchants to set up conditions on what qualifies as a referral purchase. Most of our merchants, they will take pretty much any purchase in terms of amounts. But some of our clients, they want to make sure that only purchases over certain amounts qualify as a successful referral. So that's why we also need to have access to the checkout. So we're able to say, okay, this purchase is over $100, so it therefore qualifies as a referral. And so, yeah, there's usually like a waiting period between the moment that the purchase happens and until we verify it. And then we send out the rewards automatically. So yeah, they can kind of keep track of all the steps.
Cool. That's really awesome. So one question I've always had about referral programs before I send it back to you, Jonathan, is if I refer a friend, and let's say my wife also refers the same friend, and let's say they clicked on my link and then they clicked on my wife's link, like who gets the referral? How do you sort that out? Are there different options for like how that works? How do you resolve like that kind of issue?
Yeah. So it kind of depends on the platform. So we have some platforms in which the referral detection happens based on the cookie. And so whatever cookie was identified first, that's the one that will qualify. For other platforms, we do the referral identification based on the coupon code. So for some platforms, the advocate has a unique coupon code, and so whatever coupon code is applied at the checkout, that's how we're able to identify the referral. So that it depends. The answer is that it depends on the platform that the merchant's using.
That makes sense. Cool. Back to you, Jonathan.
So what's one of the main challenges that you find your users have, which your Candy really helps overcome?
Yeah. So one thing that I always bring up when I talk to a merchant is the fact that if you have a product that your customers like, and you have a recurring flow of orders on your online store, and you're a somewhat established business, you already have referrals happening in your store. So if your customers like your product, it's very likely that it's coming up in conversations with their friends. So the main challenge that I see a lot of merchants face is that they don't know how many purchases are they getting from referrals versus other channels. They just don't have that data because they don't have the platform in place. And it's something that could be fixed. You don't necessarily need ReferralCandy to get a rough idea of how many customers are coming from referrals. You could just do, a survey at the checkout, how do you hear about us? Something like that. It could give you an estimate. But that's the first challenge. And then the second one is the fact that if you don't have a referral system in place, there's little you can do to incentivize your customers to refer more. So if you run a Net Promoter Score survey on your store and you ask your customers, will you be willing to refer? You're probably going to get, again, if everything falls in place, if your customers are happy, that Net Promoter Score is going to be pretty high. It will fall anywhere between 80, 90, 95%. But the reality is only a fraction of those that say that are willing to refer will end up doing it. And there's nothing wrong about it. It's just really that, there's a lot of distractions that happen in our daily lives and we just forget about things. And so if you have that little incentive in which your customers know not only what they can get for themselves, but also what they can get to their friends, that's a huge incentive that we realize is that customers, a lot of the times they refer because they want to provide something useful to their friends, not necessarily because they're getting some sort of reward in exchange. So yeah, identifying referrals that might be already happening on your store, tracking those, and then obviously incentivizing customers. Those are the main things that our customers are probably either not aware of, or they're lacking that before they come to us. And after they set up ReferralCandy, they can have a little bit more control and more visibility on what percentage of my purchases are coming from referrals and how can I incentivize that, and also about customer behavior too. So.
All right, that's great. Well, we're going to go for our break. When we come back, we'll be delving more in the world of referrals with ReferralCandy. We'll be back in a few moments, folks. We're coming back. The first half's gone really quick. Before we go into the second part of the show, I want to tell you about a webinar that I'm doing with Uncle Spencer. You know Spencer from the Friday show. And if you're not listening to our roundtable shows, you should do. It's a very irrelevant look at the world of WordPress and technology every week. It's a blast. So I'm doing a webinar on the 9th of July. That's the second Friday of the July at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can watch it on the WP-Tonic Facebook group page or our YouTube channel. Basically sign up and we'll give you, there should be a sign up form which you find in the supporting show notes of this show, and we will just send you a quick email just before the show goes live. You can join us live and then ask us any questions. What the webinar is going to be about? Well, it's going to be about marketing automation around mostly membership websites as the key pillar, but fundamentally it's about marketing automation and how you can use a small group of plugins to build something that's at 1/5 the cost and more flexible and more powerful than ClickFunnels. You know, more and more your customers are going to be asking you about marketing automation and how you can set it up in WordPress. We've got the real easy solution which you can utilize for all your clients. So it's great value, the webinar. So please join us on the 9th of July. So back into it. I listened to some of your previous interviews, and one area I would like, because it's scratching my own itch really, Raúl, is your own experience of trying to market ReferralCandy to other partners. Because I've got my own referral offering on my own website, and I set it all up, and I've been busy with other things, and it's been set up for over a year, and I've got half a dozen referral people that have joined it, but I haven't, honestly. It's just sitting there, really. How have you got any insights? Let's start off with what you feel is one of the major things that you need to know if you're going to get the ball rolling, which you did in your own business around building relationships and partners. Is that a good start to this conversation, Raúl?
Yeah, I think so. So I would say, just kind of as a bottom line, what we've seen that makes a referral program, makes the ball start rolling, is promotion. So make it accessible to whoever your audience is. Make it accessible, whether it is by having a call to action on your website or including it in some sort of like post-purchase flow. If we're talking about e-commerce stores, just make sure that customers are aware of it and kind of like make it easy for them to sign up. In my case, I personally, in terms of building partnerships at ReferralCandy, there's a couple of things that I've built over the past few years. One of them is it's an affiliate program. We use ReferralCandy for ReferralCandy, and so we have an affiliate program, and we haven't really done a lot of promotion around it, besides the fact that we just included some call to actions on our website that allowed people to find the affiliate program and kind of like sign up for it and start referring. So mostly because I come to realize that there's a lot of people out there that do affiliate marketing in terms of kind of like pay based on performance, people that are really good at affiliate marketing, and they just join affiliate programs and just, kind of that's how they make money.
It's their business. Yeah.
Exactly. So we just opened it to anybody. And so we didn't really have to do a lot of promotion. A lot of people found it. And kind of the same way with how we work with agencies. So that's probably like 80% of my job is to work with our agencies and their merchants. And so I did a lot of outreach. I did a lot of, email and LinkedIn to get people to connect with us. And I was successful at connecting with people and being able to present ReferralCandy. But I realized that the higher quality agencies for us, or I guess the not necessarily higher quality, but those that converted faster were those that came inbound, those that already had some sort of need from a client, and they just wanted to learn about a referral solution. And so we just made it easier for them to find us. So we started putting content out there about how we work with agencies. We created a section on our website specifically for agencies so they could learn more about how we work and everything. So it's really all about making it visible and accessible, and also easy for people to join, and then promotion that, stay in touch with those affiliates and kind of remind them about the structure that's in place.
So before I throw it over to Stephen, what I think you're saying is, like with most things, if you just set it up and leave it, it's just going to wither. You basically, you got to water the garden. You got to get the ball rolling. I'm using a lot of metaphors here, but you basically, you got to focus on it. It just ain't going to happen on its own.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can automate, but at the end of the day, what's really important is to make sure that you have some sort of system to touch base with people that need to be aware of this. So it doesn't have to happen, manually. It's for a lot of things, it's probably something you can set up automatically, whether it's an email drip campaign or some sort of like, touch and base type of system. But that's the main part of it. So it's to make sure that whoever is your audience, it's aware of it. I would say that's the bottom line.
Over to you, Stephen.
Should everybody have a referral program? Like, is that something that just like works in every industry, or is there like some industries that like referrals are definitely more important than others?
So I would say that, I mean, we haven't really seen an industry. So, okay, just for context, we mostly work with B2C. So B2B, we're not super familiar, and we haven't really had enough customers on the B2B world to be able to draw some conclusions from that. But in terms of B2C, we haven't really found an industry in which it didn't work. And we've worked with companies that sell, from food supplements to companies that sell furniture or mattresses, which have a totally different, price point and product and even customer behavior. I would say, if I had to pick one vertical that works really well, it's not necessarily in terms of industry, but in terms of customer behavior. So if you're selling a product that your customers can buy on a regular basis, so if you're in subscriptions, referral program makes a lot of sense, because you have a really engaged audience, because they're getting your product automatically every month or every week or whatever it is. So you're staying top of mind. And then they can really see the benefit of getting that discount or getting that reward, because they're going to get it applied to their next subscription. So I would say that the ones that can benefit the most are those on subscription, and then those that have recurring customers or intend to have recurring customers that work really well. But yeah, I don't really know in which B2C industry it wouldn't work. There might be levels of success, but
yeah, that's a really interesting point. That like, I never thought about that like B2C works far better, because like you're looking for that social interaction and engagement, right? That human to human connection. Like, oh, I have a friend that wants something, or I can post something on my Facebook. And once you get to the B2B kind of market, that sort of like human connection is like a little bit more difficult, and every business is trying to figure out how to do that. But like, if it's just a person recommending something to their friend, like that's a very casual sort of introduction. Like, hey, you can save $5 and I'll save $5 or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. when I'm thinking about what to give, right? Like a coupon or amount of money, like how does someone start thinking through like how much money or how much of a coupon to kind of put out there for their customers? Like what's incentive enough to get somebody to do something, and what is, profitable enough for me not to lose money every time somebody refers? Or maybe it's good to lose money to get the referral to keep people around. Like how do you start calculating those numbers, or what do you start thinking through?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously the first thing you want to look at is your own financials, is to make sure, see what you can afford, and also what you're spending on other channels, to be honest, because referral marketing can be very cost effective in the sense that you're only paying for what you're getting. And if you're, running ads or something, that can get potentially really expensive to acquire that first customer. So, yeah, kind of like keep it in balance of what what you're willing to get from it, and also what you can afford in terms of acquiring the new customer. And then also look at what other promotions you might be having on your online store. So if you have a 10% after you sign up for a newsletter, or anything along those lines, maybe increase a little bit more so you make it more attractive. We've had customers merchants that were running the same promotion for referrals and also for kind of like a newsletter sign up, and they didn't really see a difference because it was a lot easier to get a 10% discount by signing up to a newsletter than referring a friend. So that's one thing. And then kind of like some other best practices that we typically recommend. So you did mention one, which is the I get 5, you get 5. So make it easy for customers to pitch. If you make it complicated in the sense that okay, so you get a 10%, but only if you make a purchase over this amount, and it has to be one of these 3 products, then it gets a little complicated. Or if you have to refer multiple friends to acquire that reward, that can also get a little frustrating because you're doing your job, you're referring people, but you're not seeing that reward kind of immediately. And so make it easy to understand, that get 5, and if you want to make it like kind of like dig deeper into the psychology of the rewards, something that I mentioned earlier, think about why your customers are referring. And in most of these cases, it's going to be because they're just showcasing the product to somebody that they trust, or somebody that they love. And so they're probably going to make that recommendation anyway. And so if you want to incentivize the friend to make that first purchase over the customer that's making the referral, we've also seen that works really well. We actually have a lot of merchants that offer a bigger reward to the friend, so they can introduce the brand to that new customer, rather than going for kind of like the affiliate or the commission type of incentive. So again, just things to keep in mind. I guess it really depends from one company to another based on their behavior, but those are kind of like the things that I would recommend as a baseline on how to build your referral program on top.
We need to wrap it up when we go for bonus content, Stephen. So we're going to wrap up the podcast part of the show. So Ralph, what's the best way for people to find out more about you and ReferralCandy?
Yeah, so just referralcandy.com, or if they have any questions, they can just email me directly. That's raulg@referralcandy.com. I'll be happy to take questions there.
Make sure that the details are in the show notes. Stephen, what's the best way for people to find out more about you and your business?
Head over to zipfish.io, run a speed test, see how much faster we can make your website.
Yes, and Stephen and his crew really did help the WP-Tonic website become more of a speed machine. It's a rather large website. It was getting a little bit, the weight around the waist was, let's put it was building up a bit, and it needed to be put on a diet, and Stephen and his crew helped out with that. So if you're looking to make your WordPress website a bit more of a speed machine, go over to them. So we're going to have bonus content now, folks, which you can watch on the WP-Tonic YouTube channel. Please go over there and subscribe. It really does help the show. We normally always have bonus content, why the whole of the interview plus the bonus content. Plus there's a lot of other lessons, things around WordPress business in general. So do go over and you'll find the link to get to the YouTube channel in the show notes. We'll be back next week with another great interview. We'll see you soon, folks. Bye. So bonus content. So I think in previous interviews, you said that, one of the biggest drivers had been Shopify in helping as one of your partners. And I think one of the other platforms, I think big eCommerce, I think. What about WooCommerce? How many, is it really Shopify that you really concentrate, but is it also how much growth have you seen in WooCommerce as well?
Yeah, I mean, WooCommerce has been one of our main partners from the beginning.
Oh, wow.
And it's I mean, we work with Shopify, with BigCommerce, WooCommerce, Magento, and we also welcome platforms that have kind of like their own setup as well. So we have 3 different ways for stores to connect their store with ReferralCandy. So there's only a very small list of platforms that we do not support. Amazon, one of them, and there are a few more. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that in 2020, e-commerce just exploded. So we saw growth across the board on all platforms. And I mean, I think the explosion in e-commerce kind of affected pretty much every platform out there. So we definitely saw a growth in our relationship with WooCommerce in the past 12 months for sure.
Oh, right. So how do you, would you say that it is really the 2 dominant players are Shopify and WooCommerce by the growth that you've seen?
Yeah, Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce. Yeah, those are definitely 3. The ones that grew the most. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Over to you, Stephen.
As I'm just thinking through of all implementing a referral strategy, is there any sort of idea of what that would impact sales? Like, if I implement, will I see a 10%, a 5%, a 20%? Is there a way to frame that up and start thinking about that? Or is it one of those things that depends on every business so drastically that there's no way to kind of know until you try?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. A few years ago, we actually had that question, and we started doing a lot of research on what's the average referral rate based on industry, and it was actually surprising that the average that we saw, not necessarily in our merchants, but just by doing research on kind of published data that we found online, it was that it was anywhere between 2 and 3% sales across all industries, pretty much. Now, so that's kind of what we use as a baseline. So we've come to realize that when a merchant implements a referral program with attractive enough rewards, and they set up a post-purchase flow to incentivize customers to join the referral program, and basically they have things in place to get their customers to join the program, we use that 2% as a baseline. We understand that that's the kind of like the minimum that you're going to get from referral marketing. But the reality is that we've had customers that 3 out of 10 purchases are coming from referrals. So, getting up to 30-35% of all the revenue coming from referrals, when and again, that's kind of like the maximum. You might think that, it's not really that much, but the kind of like the bottom line of this affects. So sorry, the referral marketing affects the bottom line of the profitability of the business, because it's a much more profitable channel that any other customer acquisition channel that a store might be able to have these days. And so when you're only paying based on performance, you can see that the margin that you have on customers that are acquiring through referrals is a lot higher than any other. So yeah, it's a pretty wide range between 2 and 30. I would say the average of a successful ReferralCandy merchant, it's anywhere between 10, 15, 20%. We've seen a large amount of merchants on those levels.
That makes a lot of sense. I never really thought about how a referral customer is probably a better customer than one that you just get running, Google ads, right? People who are going to you because of a referral, learned about you from somewhere else, and that trust is already there. They're already sold. They're not just ooh, I wonder if this works or if it's not, right? They've either interacted with somebody or read something somewhere about somebody else's experience. So yeah, I could definitely see why that. A cart size from a referral member would be higher, or the lifetime value, if somebody's staying in a subscription service, would be way more on a referral than on just, a random Google ad.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, we've actually seen. I mean, there's data that proves that refer customers spend more and stick around for longer. And when you think about it, in some cases, if you're running, let's say a set of Facebook and Instagram ads, how many times you have to show an ad to a customer until they end up converting? It's, it could be a really long process, like sometimes months of, kind of like reaching out to the same person and showing ads across multiple industries, when a referred customer might just convert almost immediately, with no previous exposure to the brand at all. So yeah, it's a huge difference, and it really affects the bottom line of the actual financials of the company, that's why we use revenue as the main indicator of how your referral program is doing. Before we look at emails and clicks and and kind of exposure that you've gotten from the program, we look at the hard data, the revenue, and how much money are you making from your program.
Do I have to worry at all about a referral program cannibalizing some of my revenue? Because people are going to refer my product just naturally. And now all of a sudden I have a referral program. So now, I'm giving out, $5 to the person that referred, $5 to the person that, the new user. And so that's $10 I don't have. Do you have to worry about that cannibalization, or is there just always a net gain because so many people will refer because there's that positive incentive to do so?
I mean, you're giving a discount based on an actual purchase, so it's a reward that you're earning. It's a reward that you're giving out because you're earning something in exchange, and it's all about a cycle that just keeps feeding itself. So that friend that just got recommended, it's going to be invited to join the program. It's going to get their own unique referral link, and so now you're going to have access to their network to continue increasing. So yeah, I mean, I don't think that's something I would potentially worry about. I think it's a good problem to have, I would say.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just to wrap it up, I'm interested about how important coming on podcasts are to you, because we're taking an hour of your time. You're a busy guy. How long have you been going on other people's podcasts, and how important is it to getting your message out around ReferralCandy? And by the way, how many podcasts on average do you go on per month?
So I've started going on podcasts for about 6 months now, and it's probably like 1 or 2 per month, really, that I participate in. And I mean, I personally love it because I like talking about what I do in ReferralCandy. It allows me to meet people, and then it allows me to present ReferralCandy to an audience that might not be aware of it. And honestly, not even just ReferralCandy, just referral marketing in general. A lot of companies out there might have thought about it before and they're not really sure about what to do. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, there's things that you can do to measure the impact of referral marketing before you even consider using a tool like ours. So, if I can plant the seed on somebody and start thinking about referral marketing, that's good to me.
Right. I think we end it here. Thanks, Raúl, for coming on the show. I think you're giving a good insight about this whole area, which I don't know much about. It's great having an expert on it. And we'll see you next week, folks, where hopefully we have a similar really great guest and we give you some insight about some part of marketing automation, online marketing in general, and WordPress. We'll see you soon, folks. Bye.